Automation and Robotics with our Evansville campus, was honored by the Indiana Commission for Women at their annual Torchbearer Award ceremony last month. The Torchbearer Awards recognize women who have made outstanding contributions to their communities, Indiana, or the nation. Donna was nominated by her colleagues in Evansville, Dr. Mike Zakali and Kelly Cozart, for her work leading the way for other women by breaking down barriers in STEM careers. Young girls tend not to think of STEM when they discuss careers. As an engineer herself, Donna is a visible example of what these young girls might become. She teaches robotics during the after-school program at Evans Elementary School. She volunteers to give hands-on demonstrations of technology at job fairs, career fairs, and summer camps. She runs a yearly VEX robotics competition, and she started a robotics club in 2007. Additionally, Donna found a passion using the skills being taught to technicians to use in helping the community. For example, after seeing a demonstration of toys being wired differently to be used to teach disabled students, Donna developed a lab exercise that combined making these toys to donate while teaching class concepts. Congratulations, Donna. We are so proud of you. We have an exciting change at the college that I'm pleased to share with you. We have hired our Vice President of K-12 Initiatives and Statewide Partnerships. Dr. Katie Jenner comes to Ivy Tech from Madison Consolidated Schools, where she currently serves as the Assistant Superintendent. She is heavily engaged with the Ivy Tech Madison's campuses, dual enrollment partnerships leading to strong CTE and STGEC completions. She also served on the State Workforce Investment Board and statewide Graduation Pathways team. And her experience as a CTE instructor brings a wide range of experience to this role at Ivy Tech. She will augment the already incredible work of Dr. John Newby, Assistant Vice President at Ivy Tech, who has grown our dual credit program to serve more than 60,000 high school students across more than 400 high schools. Katie starts at Ivy Tech on November 1st, and I look forward to introducing her to all of you at our next President's Update. I enjoy highlighting successful initiatives during this President's Update as well, so today I'd like to start with our Transfer as a Junior program. We're joined today by Russ Baker, Vice President of Academic Affairs, who heads up the program previously known as TSAP. Welcome, Russ.
Hello, how are you?
Doing great. Great to have you. So let me ask you some questions about Transfer as a Junior so we can learn more about it and the success that we've seen from it so far. So the first question, with all the recent attention paid to preparing Ivy Tech students for the workforce, many of our students are interested in transferring to four-year programs as well. Why is transfer one of the most important Ivy Tech priorities, and why are Transfer as a Junior programs so helpful to our students?
Well, looking back to 2005, when Governor Daniels designated Ivy Tech as the community college for Indiana, he specifically added transfer as a new part of our mission. It continues to be critical that we provide our students and communities with a lower cost, high quality option for obtaining the first half of their bachelor's degree. And that's exactly what the Transfer as a Junior degrees are designed to do.
So can you tell us about how much students can really save getting their associate degree at Ivy Tech before transferring?
By taking their first 2 years at Ivy Tech, students will typically save more than $40,000 from what they would have paid to have lived on a state campus and taken that coursework at that campus.
Wow, that's a lot of money. So what's special about Transfer as a Junior that distinguishes it from some of our other transfer programs?
The Indiana General Assembly adopted legislation in 2013 that was designed to do what several other states had done already, create seamless transfer pathways that allow students to take a specific curriculum at the associate degree level. If students complete that associate degree and are admitted into a four-year state university in that same program, the legislation requires that all of the credit will transfer into their bachelor's degree requirements. That is why we call this Transfer as a Junior. If students follow the plan, they will have junior status when they arrive at the four-year school.
That's awesome. So, are these programs showing enrollment growth?
They sure are. Since our first official students began in the fall of 2015, The transfer as a junior program enrollment has increased steadily. The chart behind me shows the increase in unduplicated fall enrollment from 3,312 in fall of 15 to our current number, which is over 9,500 in fall of 2018. From fall of last year to fall of this year, we have grown by more than 2,000 students.
That is really amazing. And we are glad to hear that the students are enrolling, but as you always hear from me, what about completions? How many students have actually graduated with a transfer as a junior degree?
Well, I thought you might ask me that. I'm very excited that we now have had a total of 1,317 completions since we first had our first graduating class, which was 12, back in the spring of 2016. And just in the last spring of 2018 alone, we had 490 graduates.
So very good. What programs are most popular in the transfer as a junior?
Well, not surprisingly, the chart shows nursing number 1 with 438 graduates so far, business is second with 251, and elementary education is third with 228.
Very good. So each of these are high-demand careers, which is very good to hear. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up on transfer as a junior?
Just one more thing. We're excited not only to have the agreements with the state universities, who are really required by legislation to be part of this, but we have a growing number of 2+2 agreements with the Independent Colleges of Indiana schools, often known as ICI. Those are independent colleges in Indiana that legally don't have to follow the requirements of the legislation. But we're seeing more of them who want to attract our students by also accepting all of the credits under the transfer as a junior degree, just like the state universities are required to do. We have agreements with Trine, Indiana Tech, Marion, University of Evansville that are very recent, and we're going to have a partnership day in late November, November 30th to be specific, with ICI institutions to continue to explore ideas that will provide more and better transfer options for our students.
Thank you, Russ. This really is tremendous, and your work and the work of the VCAAs and our academic teams across the state are really amazing, because this is a tremendous opportunity for our students, for employers down the road that get these bachelor degree graduates, and our state overall. It's great to hear the wonderful work being done to attract students to the programs and to support them through completion and transfer to our partner institutions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. So I'd like to talk now about a topic we've discussed a number of times previously, and one we're sure to continue discussing in future President's Work updates. The college's work towards 8-week classes. So I've asked Stacy Atkinson, Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs at our Richmond campus, who is co-leading our 8-week efforts with Corey Klossman-Ryan, to provide some background information and update on this project. So welcome, Stacy.
Thank you, Sue. Ivy Tech has historically offered courses that vary in length from the standard 16-week term, with 8-week course offerings beginning more than 10 years ago. When Ivy Tech received the Achieving the Degree, or ATD, Aspen Institute report in September of 2016, it showed Ivy Tech's fall-to-fall retention rate approximately 10 percentage points lower than the national average, and 3-year graduation and transfer rate approximately 15 percentage points below the national average. We knew as a college we needed to do something. Conceptually, we worked on 8-week courses until late 2017, when President Ellspermann and then Provost Steve Tincher asked Ron Sloan in fall 2017 to write a white paper on the effectiveness of 8-week courses, both nationally and also here at Ivy Tech. Through his work, Ron found a growing national trend at community colleges to offer courses in an 8-week format due to increased student success, while simultaneously finding the same story continued to hold true at Ivy Tech. We continued to research and gain affirmation of the 8-week course model. As a result of this research, we've worked to build institutional capacity and create a framework to support campuses as they increase their 8-week course offerings. With this fall's first 8-week term having just ended, we are just beginning to analyze data. Because this is our first semester with expanded 8-week course offerings, these data should be treated as a first indicator. I'm pleased to share with you this very positive news. Overall, there were just under 20,000 students taking classes in the first 8-week term, or 26,183 course sections. This is an increase in students of 36% and in total seats of 52%. Passing rates were nearly identical to the rates in last fall's first 8-week courses and were 8.5 percentage points higher than 16-week courses last fall. Passing rates for our gateway courses were also higher than for 16-week courses last fall, with the exception of our quantitative reasoning course, which was only slightly lower. Finally, at the campus level, overall passing rates for first 8-week courses exceeded passing rates for 16-week courses last fall at every single campus and site. This is a testament to the excellent teaching of our faculty and to the great work conducted at each and every campus to offer additional classes in 8 weeks. This transition would not be possible without the support of our 8-week campus champions. A total of 80 champions were selected to serve as a point of contact on their campuses, facilitate dialogue, and help plan activities. These champions, selected by their campus leadership teams, are a mixture of faculty and staff. Each campus has been asked to create a project plan by December 21st, 2018, detailing their designs to transition courses to an 8-week format. The 8-week champions have also divided themselves into 5 task forces, which we'll discuss more in a few moments to help further this work in an effort to provide additional support to campuses and students. They've started working on campuses, and I've asked 2 of our 8-week champions to tell us more about their work locally. First, we have Janet Swalls, Dean at the Terre Haute campus. Good afternoon, Janet.
Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate the college recognizing the need to have individuals at each and every campus be designated to assist with the conversion to the predominantly 8-week offering institution that we will become. The structure is similar to the identification of super users when the college transitioned to Canvas from Blackboard for our learning management system. As Stacy explained, each campus identified individuals to be their 8-week champions to serve as liaisons between the campuses and system office during this transition. The group of 80 champions and additional systems office staff under the guidance and leadership of Stacy and Corey Classman-Ryan. From the large group of 8-week champions, 5 task forces were created. Data research for both internal and external research. Staff and professional development for such things as admissions, advising, financial aid, and billing. Faculty professional development for both adjunct and full-time faculty in areas as course redesign, student engagement, and classroom management. Marketing and communications, again for both internal and external communications. And finally, student success and retention, focusing on strategies to help students be successful. The 8-week champions also helped guide sessions with The 8-week champions also helped guide sessions with students, faculty, and staff to assist in the development of the Ivy Tech commitments in an effort to receive feedback from all stakeholder groups in a systematic manner. To date, commitments for students, faculty, and staff have been formulated, received approvals from our internal leadership, and a draft was presented to the State Board of Trustees during the October 4th meeting. Final approval is anticipated at the December meeting, and the Ivy Tech commitments are scheduled to be implemented in January for statewide adoption. Now my co-champion and the Medical Assisting Program Chair with the Richmond campus, Rebecca Keene, will continue sharing details regarding the great work being done by the 8-week champions. Rebecca?
Thank you, Janet. You have all received information regarding the new mini-grant opportunities for professional development and course redesign. You are strongly encouraged to apply for these grants. This is an opportunity to receive funding to support you and your local campuses for successful 8-week implementation. There are some criteria to each mini-grant, so be sure to read them to ensure activity of the course redesign is eligible. You can find an overview of the grants on My Ivy under the Strategic Plan section of the Employee Dashboard. In addition to task force and liaison roles, each campus, with support of the 8-week champion, is in the process of developing a 3-year project plan. The plan is to be developed under the guidance of campus leadership and outlines a timeline for 8-week implementation on their respective campuses. Project plans will be campus-specific to ensure support and resources are available for the successful transition of Ivy Tech to predominantly 8-week course offering institution. Lastly, we would like to share a few successes as a result of 8-week courses. Since the transition to all 8-week courses, over the past year, the medical assisting program at the Richmond campus has seen a 4% increase in students passing the National Certified Medical Assisting exam. We are also hearing that students are excited to be moving through the program sooner. Our students have shared this with video with us, and you can see it for yourselves in My Ivy, where you find the President's updates. A preliminary comparison of course completions at the Terre Haute campus was conducted for 8-week courses this fall semester versus all part terms for the past 3 fall semesters. The analysis indicates an increase in passing grades defined as A through D and a decline in failing grades and withdrawals. Further, a student survey showed that 78% of students enrolled in 8-week courses believe the pace is about right. Please remember to reach out to your campus champions with feedback and questions. You can find the link to the list of campus champions under 8-week courses in the employee dashboard of My Ivy.
Thank you, Janet, and to Stacy. This is just a great opportunity to see the vision of these predominantly 8-week offerings coming to increase our student success. But we know that all depends on the hard work and dedication of our campus teams and our individual faculty members. I appreciate your efforts as well as the efforts of all of our campus champions. Campuses around the state are finding new ways to support student success, and today I wanted to share with you a project Indianapolis is doing. I've asked Sarah Whitmer, Lead Advisor of Student Success and Retention in Indianapolis, to tell us about the Second Chance Scholarship. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Sue. I'm excited to have the opportunity to speak with you today about the Second Chance Scholarship. The Second Chance Scholarship is a program we first piloted in the summer 2017 semester here in the Indianapolis service area, and it has grown exponentially since then. This award is targeted specifically at SAP-terminated students with denied financial aid appeals who have shown themselves capable of academic success here at the college. We believe this scholarship is a best practice, and we hope that it can be replicated in other service areas across the state. As many of you know, the SAP appeal process for financial aid can be challenging for students to navigate, and despite their best efforts and ours, many are unable to come away from the process with an approved financial aid appeal. Without access to any kind of financial aid, it may be difficult or even impossible for some students to continue working toward their degree. Many of these students have demonstrated that under normal circumstances, they are capable of meeting the SAP standards at Ivy Tech. They may have just been temporarily derailed by a difficult life situation of some kind. This is where our Second Chance Scholarship comes in. It covers tuition and standard fees for these students while they work their way back toward an aid-eligible status or completion of a degree. Here are some examples of student situations that the Second Chance Scholarship targets for assistance. Student A came to school unprepared for the workload and responsibility that college requires. They failed all of their courses in their first semester, but returned the next semester and earned all A's and B's. They are terminated for completion rate, and their appeal is denied due to a lack of extenuating circumstances. Student B was terminated in 2004. They filed an appeal then, but their appeal was denied, so they stopped attending because they could not access their financial aid. They have since returned to Ivy Tech and have paid out of pocket for a semester and earned all A's and B's. Student C was earning A's and B's each semester, but suffered from a flare-up of a chronic illness that caused their grades to suffer, eventually leading to SAP termination. They are now healthy again, but they do not have appropriate documentation for their illness, so their appeal is denied. Each semester that we have offered the Second Chance Scholarship, the number of eligible candidates has exceeded the amount of funding we have had available. In fact, as information about the scholarship has spread, demand in our service area has increased by more than 500%. from 17 candidates in summer 2017 to 90 candidates this fall. As such, our funding needs have also increased. Almost all of our funding has been allocated by our financial aid department, but in spring 2018 we were also lucky enough to receive a grant from the Circle of Ivy. And we know that we may need to seek additional sources of funding as this program continues to grow. Our budget for the 18-19 aid year is $100,000, and as of today we have spent just over $37,000 of that on fall awards. To date, 90 unique students have received a second chance scholarship for one or more semesters, and 36 of those were awarded just this fall thanks to our increased funding and increased knowledge of the program. 22 of those fall recipients are on track to be back in an aid-eligible status by the end of the term. The rest will continue to receive the scholarship until they regain their aid eligibility, as long as they meet the SAP standards each semester. Of the 54 students who received the award prior to this fall semester, 23 have already returned to an aid-eligible status, 6 have completed a credential, and 3 have moved to a completion scholarship. Beginning with our fall 2018 cohort, each recipient is also being asked to meet regularly with a student success coach in hopes of boosting these outcomes even further. We are excited to help this program continue to grow in our service area and others across the college. If you have questions about the scholarship or its implementation, you may contact me or our Indianapolis Area Director of Financial Aid, Alex Delonis, using the contact information on the slide.
Thank you, Sarah, and to the Indianapolis team for developing the Second Chance Scholarship, putting into action the first goal of our strategic plan, Strategy 1.1, ensuring every student persists towards their educational objective and understanding that many of our students have many challenges to overcome. Well, Goal 4 of our strategic plan focuses on ensuring students are placed into and succeed in high-demand, high-wage jobs. With IT leading the way as one of Indiana's key economic sectors, I've asked Matt Etchison, our Vice President for Information Technology, to provide an overview of this sector and Ivy Tech's role in supporting Hoosiers to success in this industry. Thanks for joining us, Matt.
Thank you for the opportunity, Sue. I'm going to provide some context about what IT actually is, what it is in Indiana, and then apply it to what we are doing at Ivy Tech in the School of IT. People often like to say information technology, or IT as its acronym, is simply computers. While that is a portion of it, certainly, it is better to refer to IT as the use of systems, especially computers, and telecommunications for storing, retrieving, and sending information. We live in the current period in human history known as the information age. This has replaced the industrial age. You don't have to take just my word for it, as Eric Brynjolfsson and Andrew McAfee of MIT say that information technology is increasingly digital, exponential, and combinatorial. I will define these here shortly. Specific characteristics of IT are that it is innovative, disruptive, agile and nimble, has a high velocity and rapid pace of change, and entrepreneurial, and of course it's pervasive throughout all economic sectors. So IT is digital. I won't go too deep in the weeds here to the point that your head hurts, but to further explain this, I'm going to ask you to sharpen your pencils a little bit and fire up the neurons in your cerebral cortex. The word digital comes from the Latin word digitus, meaning finger or toe, as in how many digits am I holding up? And of course, many of us learn to count on our fingers as children, and as such, mathematics is foundational, central, and critical to information technology. IT is exponential. Speaking of math lessons, here's one that explains the exponential growth of IT. Linear versus exponential growth. If you take 30 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sequentially, you go from 1 to 30. If you take 30 exponential steps, as in 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and a doubling, you arrive at over 1 billion. This doubling is a central tenet to IT and is known as Moore's Law, famously named after Gordon Moore of Intel, who first observed and noted this trend in 1965. You can see from the chart, Google chief engineer Ray Kurzweil likes to say, your mobile phone in your pocket is 1,000,000 times cheaper and 1,000 times more powerful than the mainframe computer in the 1960s at MIT that would have taken up an entire city block. That's a billion-fold increase in power. Now, for some perspective on this, and the reason most humans do not understand just how disruptive IT truly is because we live and think in a linear fashion. Examples are, your car's gas mileage doesn't double when you buy next year's model. We usually age 1 year at a time on our birthday. Prices usually go up or down just a little bit here, a little bit there, but rarely do prices ever double or get cut in half. Most humans, however, operate under a linear bias, but as Harvard Business Review likes to state, that is linear thinking in a nonlinear world. Just something to keep in mind when technology simply comes out of nowhere and fairly rapidly becomes integrated as part of our society. This would be like smartphones, Facebook, Uber, when you go shopping on Amazon, when you watch movies on Netflix, etc. Those are all disruptive examples of IT that change communication transportation, and shopping. One final example for some perspective is that in 1965, the $55 million ASCII Red supercomputer, which was the size of a tennis court, became the first computer to reach a speed of 1 teraflop, which is a trillion floating point operations per second. Just 10 years later, Sony introduced the PlayStation 3, which had the same computational power, but cost 157,000 times less at $350, and it sat next to your TV in the living room. By comparison, it took 70 years for the steam engine to double in efficiency. It should be noted that the agriculture that grows your food is not 157,000 times less in price in those 10 years, and certainly your healthcare costs are not 157,000 times cheaper in 10 years either. But the more we integrate IT into these areas, the more we will be able to lower costs and increase performance. The definition of combinatorial is, as you can imagine, of or relating to combinations. Think about something you probably use every day, like Google or Apple Maps on your phone. It took the invention of electricity, the telephone, GPS, then the internet, smartphones, for you to have a data connection, and then mobile apps to make that happen. This combination of things allowed us to exist. But let's go even deeper and talk about this in the context of Ivy Tech and jobs and the programs we offer here at the college. A uniquely odd but relevant example is from a site called Hacker Noon. So let's try going back to 1860 and explaining to a farmer the IT job of web developer, which is one of the highest paying, highest demand jobs anywhere, and certainly in Indiana. You can't explain the web developer job to a farmer in 1860 because the IT job is built upon a combination of inventions, each of which is dependent upon the one before it. You have to first discover the use of electricity, which would then lead to developing copper wires to carry that electricity. Copper wires would then lead to the invention of the light bulb, of course, leading to the invention of the computer leading to software. Software then leads to the invention of the internet leads to HTML, the markup language we use for web pages, of course, and HTML leads to the web browser. And finally, the invention of the web browser leads to the job coming into existence known as the web developer, which we educate and scale up people for every day at Ivy Tech. So what does this IT lesson have to do with Ivy Tech and our School of Information Technology? It has to do with the college being aware of the pace of change in the modern world and the global economy. Industry and the workforce are subject to this pace and disruptive nature of IT every single day in the marketplace. What we teach our students here at the college, how fast we teach them, how adaptable we are to change, has direct bearing on the workforce in Indiana. That, in turn, directly affects the potential for our students to get those high-wage, high-demand jobs, provide for their families, and uplift their communities. So let's talk about IT in Indiana and Ivy Tech. The tallest building in Indiana is the Salesforce Tower. Salesforce is the 5th largest software company in the world. They were not even in Indiana 5 years ago. 55% of all IT jobs, according to TechPoint, in Indiana are actually outside of the metropolitan Indianapolis area. IT is everywhere. It is in every factory, warehouse, and hospital, and even in the most rural areas of the state. The 2 U.S. states with the largest percentage increase in software employment from 2014 to 2016 were Kansas and Indiana. Indiana, as we know, ranks first in the U.S. among the percentage of workforce engaged in manufacturing, but in manufacturing today, software jobs outpace production jobs for the first time. A recent analysis of job postings in manufacturing sector by Burning Glass, revealed that openings for software jobs are outpacing production jobs for the first time. Burning Glass called this a sign that the products we make and the methods used to make them are increasingly driven by computer programming. Even more dramatic is the shift in the auto industry. 4 years ago, the demand for software developers was equal to the demand for mechanical engineers. Last year, however, there are twice as many job openings for software developers as there were for mechanical engineers. So here at the college, the School of IT offers 9 tremendous programs with the recent addition of visual communications. Those 9 are software development, computer science, informatics, server administration, cybersecurity/information assurance, information technology support, network infrastructure, database management and administration, and as I mentioned, visual communications. These IT programs are rapidly becoming nationally recognized, and community colleges from across the nation, from Nashville State to City Colleges of Chicago, are calling, asking us how they can emulate our success in the School of IT. Our cybersecurity program is one of only 3 in the state, with the other being IU and Purdue. It has curriculum vetted and approved by the Department of Homeland Security and the National Security Agency. And the School of IT is just getting started. We have a long way to go, but the School of IT is working diligently towards ensuring every Indiana community has a steady and technically astute IT talent pipeline to grow their economy and strengthen their community. IT is everywhere and will only increase in importance with the mainstream immersion of artificial intelligence and machine learning. A lot of things may die or become irrelevant, but information technology will not be one of them. The Ivy Tech School of IT has more academic alliances with big tech in Silicon Valley than any other college in the entire country, including 2-year, 4-year universities. With partnerships with Salesforce, Apple, Amazon Web Services, Google, Microsoft, Cisco, and others, the School of IT has aligned itself with the biggest and most influential tech companies in the world. So when a student enrolls at Ivy Tech to come to the School of IT, there is no debate in what they are learning. The curriculum is aligned in a product collaboration between Ivy Tech and Big Tech. I'm so proud of all the tremendous students and faculty at the School of IT at Ivy Tech. We continue to have increasing enrollment, and the School of IT has the highest increase in total credentials awarded by sector, more than any other school at Ivy Tech. The 1-year increase is 74.8%, and our 2-year increase is 162.8%. And the highest change in number of completions is also in IT, and up the highest of any sector. I'm so proud of the School of IT deans and faculty leadership. It is an honor to be on a team with them, so thank you so very much. One last thing that is very important that I want to stress. Information technology is not just for the brightest math and science students. Certainly those students tend to do very well in IT, but there are varying levels of technical talent and a need for those levels across the entire Hoosier economy. A PhD researcher in artificial intelligence at Stanford is different than an entry-level IT support staff member at a rural factory or warehouse. There are makers, marketers, and managers in IT. Not everyone sits in a dark room coding all day like the stereotype, right? Some of our most iconic and revered titans of industry, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk, for example, were all IT people. So please, encourage those students who may not necessarily have thought about IT to give it a good look. They will thank you, and the Indiana economy and our industry partners will thank you. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Matt. Wow. That really says a lot about where our IT school has come and the great contributions it's making and our students are making to fill those high-wage, high-demand jobs, not only in Indianapolis, but as you said, across the entire state and certainly across the country. So what you know is one of the highlights I like to do each President's Update is to learn more about our chancellors and our campuses and communities. So today we will turn to Valparaiso and Chancellor Okso Sikoski. Okso, welcome. Can you please tell us about your time at Ivy Tech and the work you did prior to coming to Ivy Tech?
Thank you, Sue. I'm glad to be here. I have been a member of Ivy Tech family for over 24 years now. I began my work in 1994 when I was offered an adjunct faculty to teach a math class. 3 years later, I applied for an open full-time faculty position in design technology. Prior to my full-time employment, I worked for engineering consulting company, and my priority was managing projects primarily in steel industry. In this position, I had the opportunity to be involved in hiring process for CAD technicians from Ivy Tech. During my time at Ivy Tech, I served as a program, department, and division chair. In addition to that, I serve as a dean for the Legacy School of Technology and School of Applied Science in Engineering. Among the many academic responsibilities I held, I was involved in developing many or several academic programs, and including energy technology and pre-engineering. Since 2012, I serve as a campus president and now as a chancellor.
Wonderful. So tell us more about Valparaiso's. What do you see the strengths of both the campus and the community?
Valparaiso is located in Porter County but draws students from surrounding counties in urban, suburban, and rural communities. We are also fortunate to be located in a city which has been nationally recognized for its vibrant downtown and winning award Chamber and Central Plaza under the leadership of Mayor John Costas, who has been a member of the Indiana Commission for Higher Education for many years. We do not take our presence in the community lightly. We are part of the greater community, a resource of local high school students, college students, guest students, transfer students, individuals who want to take the career to the next level, and many, many more. Building partnerships with local educational institutions, industries, and organizations is our focus. I'm very proud of my faculty and staff at Valparaiso Campus. Their dedication to being innovative is noticeable in many functional areas, including the development and delivery of the 4-day IVY class offered to help students through the early preparation. On August 13, 176 students were enrolled in 8 sections. 4 days later, 164 students successfully completed the required coursework, which is a 17% increase from 76% in the previous fall.
That's awesome. Can you also tell us more about how the Valparaiso campus started the Energy Technology program as one of the best programs to meet the needs of local industry?
Yes. We have so many projects and initiatives, it's difficult to name just a few. Initially, our energy program was developed out of a partnership with Indiana Energy Consortium. This program is locally supported by a strong partnership we have developed with our local energy industry, NIPSCO, that includes its first-of-a-kind electrical power distribution lab. We went from a dozen or so students in the first year to more than 100 now. In partnership with Hobart High School, we have developed a program that allows high school students to complete an associate degree in energy technology while still in high school. Currently, we have 19 students enrolled. In partnership with NIPSCO goes the step further. Students who successfully complete a technical certificate or associate degree, NIPSCO guarantees interview with our graduates. A NIPSCO human resource representative comes on campus every semester to walk our students through the application process. Last semester, over 30 students were interviewed. 11 students were employed from the electric line program directly as apprentice linemen. In another instance of excellent partnership at work, we recognize employers could not find skilled multi-craft maintenance workers. Together, Workforce Alignment, Academics Team, and Work One partners came together with 4 area employers to create a cohort of incumbents and new skilled prospects with targeted skills leading to a custom interdisciplinary industrial workforce technical certificate degree in January as one of the first in the state. Since this degree is not official financial aid eligible, we ran ADMF 101 and 102 as a non-credit certified production technician under the Workforce Ready grant. Next, Work One applied job training funds to offset the cost. All participants will graduate this December with a certificate, technical certificate, and a certified production technician, 3 credentials at once. Since then, 4 more employer participants have signed up for the same degree in January, and 3 other employers have created their own interdisciplinary workforce degree. We have among the highest number of students utilizing the Workforce Ready grant in the system. This could not have been done without the diligent commitment of our faculty and staff who have worked to share this opportunity with prospective students in the community as a whole.
That's awesome. So I understand your campus also has a specific reason to be excited about additional partnerships in other communities. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes. In Stark County, our Workforce Alignment and Academic Affairs team partner with Stark County Economic Development to create the Automated Robotics program, offering dual program in certification in Mechatronics Level 1. Adult incumbent workers from surrounding communities use this space for classes offering by Ivy Tech like NIMS Industrial Technician Maintenance and Basic Electricity with financial support of grants like Tech Hire and Workforce Ready. The partnership offers underserved communities training 17 miles away instead of 40 or 50 miles to the nearest campus. We were the first in the nation to run the program for Duty 5 electrical system and Duty 6 for electronics controls. We launched Duty 5 on site with 5 area employers in Pulaski County. Employers were so impressed with the impact of skills in the workplace, all participated again in electronic controls. The skills-based maintenance training is the first of its kind with the national credentials. Even though the pilot was not perfect, our collaboration, employer feedback, and transparencies made for a fruitful project. Employers stated that teaming with incumbent and with other employees helped boost their learning. It paid dividends, and they will do it all again. They stated how having it near or on-site saved them hours in production time as well.
Thank you, Oxo, and thanks particularly to the great team you have in Valparaiso. Please give them my thanks for the great work they're doing for the students, for the employers, and for their community. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Well, this month marks our 17th President's Update since its inception of our original town hall in June of 2017. We do plan to continue the President's Updates through 2019 in a way to keep you informed of the good things happening throughout the college, important updates and announcements, and other topics that come up along the way. Beginning with our December President's Update, we'll also be including the audio from President's Updates in the college's podcast, Our College, Your Voices. You can subscribe to that by visiting ivytech.edu/podcast, where you'll find links to episodes and instructions to subscribe. Now, as we plan for 2019, we would like your feedback to take into consideration what would you like to see differently in the updates, what would you like us to consider to add or take away, and particularly what topics would you like to see next year. So please submit your feedback through My Ivy. There is a section called President's Update in the Employee Dashboard. We will thoroughly review your input and look forward to hearing more from you. I also want to thank everyone who joined us today for the annual Circle of Ivy Luncheon in Indianapolis. You can see by my scarf where I was earlier today, and thanks to the more than 600 women across our state who are participating in Circle of Ivy to benefit our students and our campuses. Finally, thank you for joining us today. Our next President's Update, anticipating the upcoming holidays, will actually be on Friday, December 14th at 2 p.m. In the meantime, I hope you have a fun and safe Halloween and a wonderful and enjoyable Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend.